What Lonzo Thinks is a wide-ranging, free-flowing discussion where I offer up my unsolicited views on everything from movies, music, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, you name it. If it's happening, I'm talking about it. My thoughts are unsolicited. Nobody cares. It's my opinion. But you're listening. I guess you might care a little bit, or at least you want to hear it. Do you? Really? All right. Next on my list of Prince reviews is LOTUSFlower. Now, what I've been doing is a retrospective review of every Prince album release, studio release, from the beginning to sadly the end. And we're coming in on the tail end of Prince's long, illustrious, varied career. And we are discussing LOTUSFlower. LOTUSFlower was released back in 2009, back in March of 2009. And it was a triple album. It included LOTUSFlower, MPLS, and also Elixir by one of his proteges, Bria Valente. I will not be reviewing Elixir by Bria Valente because she was whack, she couldn't sing, and I didn't appreciate the fact that Prince shoved her down our throats by adding her whack album into the LOTUSFlower compilation. So I'm not going to review Bria Valente, and I realized kind of pissed at Prince trying to make us like some chick that he was probably banging. And I guess he just, I don't know. Sometimes he did things that really defied convention that I really didn't understand. But anyways, LOTUSFlower, it hit #1 on the R&B charts, #2 on the Billboard Hot 200. So it was definitely a hit. And the way that it was marketed was kind of ingenious. It was independently marketed. I think he had a deal with Target, I believe. That's where I got it from, was Target, and helped him to get his product out to the masses. And it worked because it sold. It went gold, and it did chart, and so good on him. All right, so what I generally do is I'll go through each song, offer a brief snapshot opinion, then I'll wrap it up by just giving my overall thoughts. If I can say something funny or smart or witty, I'll say it. If not, I'll just keep it moving. Thankfully, Tony M is long gone by this time, so I can't really bang on him anymore. So I'll leave Tony M alone, maybe. Anyways, let's jump into it. First track is From the Lotus, and it is a jazzy instrumental track. I like the way Prince always likes to open up his albums with this big sprawling jam of a song that really kind of gets you into the release itself. Well, with From the Lotus, it was kind of a departure from that. It's all melody, it's instrumental, and it's a really, really strong jazzy instrument laden track. So it is a great opening, but not the big sprawling track that we have become accustomed to. Nice switch up from you, Prince. I appreciate that. Next up is Boom. And Boom is along that same vein as From the Lotus. It is there's some spoken word in there, but it's mostly just instrumental. This one's more guitar heavy than From the Lotus, but it's a good segue from the Lotus to Boom, and then to the first song that has primary vocals, which is Crimson and Clover, which is a remake. It's a cover of an original song. I forget who originally did Crimson and Clover, so forgive me. But it was, I think, a song from maybe like the 60s or early 70s. But it's a classic song. And Prince didn't do many covers, but usually when he does a cover, he does a great job of it. And Crimson and Clover is no different. It is a great cover of a classic song. Once again, his vocals, as usual, are on point. Even at at the age, at his age at that time, his vocals still sounded as if he was, in his teens. The dude really took care of his voice. His vocals were always strong, no matter what. No matter how whack the song is, his vocals are always strong, and I really appreciate that. And Crimson and Clover is a great song. The first 3 songs of LOTUSFlower is something to behold. It's a great listening. You can tandem those 3 songs together, and it will do you fine. So Crimson and Clover, Boom, and From the Lotus, the first 3 songs, do not miss those. Listen to them in sequence. Is great work. Next up is Forever. I don't like Forever. It's a bit of a departure. It's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it. It's a mid-range tune. I've only listened to it a few times. I don't like it. I really don't care about the song, so I really don't have too much to say about it. But I got a lot to say about the next track, which is Colonized Mind. Whoa. Wow. This is one hell of a song. Colonized Mind. To me, Colonized Mind is the best song of the latter part of Prince's life and career. It is his absolute best. It is a magnificent tune. Some great, great, great lyrics. It's politically tinged. It's a song that makes you think because he said some very, very deep things. He's talking about the world and about the things that's going on in the world, of course, especially when it comes to our behaviors and the political system and how our minds are pretty much, I guess, we're gaslighted or maybe not gaslighted, but how our minds are controlled to a certain extent by party politics, and he really kind of speaks on that, and he's right. He speaks about the two-party system and the illusion of choice, the lesser of two dangers, or the lesser of two evils, the illusion of choice. He's absolutely right, and I think today's political climate speaks directly towards that. Prince was always a visionary, so he knew what he was talking about. He really did get into social issues and the world around him, and he was a visionary. And if he was alive today, he'd probably say, "I told you so," because what's happening in America today, especially with that asshole that we currently have in the White House, he predicted it. Once again, it was the lesser of two evils to some people because of both candidates were flawed candidates, and the current president won more by default than by merit. And but anyway, I'm not going to make this a political statement, but Colonized Mind speaks directly towards that, and also towards our youth. And my favorite part of the song is when he talks about in the last verse, upload a child with no father, download no respect for authority, upload a child with no mother, download a hard time showing love. And that is spot the fuck on. Spot the fuck on. This is a magnificent song, one of Prince's best. Please do not skip it. It's a great listen. I listen to it over and over again, and it rings so true into what we're going through today in this world, especially in the United States of America. So give it a listen. Turn the lights out, close your eyes, put on the headphones, listen to the lyrics, listen to the instrumentation. This is a very powerful song, one of the best he's ever done, and it is a masterpiece on this particular release. It really elevates the release as a whole. Once again, Colonized Mind, great song. Do not miss it. Next up, Feel Good, Feel Better, Feel Wonderful. It's once again, the Lotus Flower is more mid-range type tunes, jazzy. There's not a whole lot of up-tempo funk type music on this release. So Feel Good, Feel Better, Feel Wonderful fits right into that vein. It's more of an adult contemporary song, but it's strong, and it's a good follow-up to Colonized Mind. Next up, Love Like Jazz. Once again, he's foraying back into jazz. And if you listen to my previous reviews, you know how I feel about Prince and his jazz. I absolutely love it. He would have been, if he would just concentrate strictly on jazz, he would have been one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time, I think. He was just that good. His instrumentation is always on point. His arrangements always on point. Love Like Jazz, great song. Don't miss it. Next up is 77 Beverly Park, which is just as strong. Once again, it's more of a instrumental tinged jazzy cut, and it's a good segue from Love Like Jazz. So if you go back and look at the first couple songs from the release, from the Lotus, Boom, and Crimson and Clover, a great 3-song build up. Then you got Forever, which for me is kind of dead weight. Then you got Colonized Mind. I just told you how I feel about that. Followed by Feel Good, Feel Better, Feel Wonderful, Love Like Jazz, and then Beverly Park. I mean, dude is swinging from the hip. It's some good stuff there. Next up is Wall of Berlin. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I listen to it from time to time, but I can live without it. I gotta be in the mood for Wall of Berlin. Not a bad song. It's a come down from 77 Beverly Park. Next up is Dollar Sign. Dollar Sign is probably the most fun song on this release, and it's closest thing to funk that he's doing on this particular release. Good song, not great, good. It's a nice filler listen. Followed by Dreamer. Now Dreamer is also a magnificent song. So we got Colonized Mind, Crimson and Clover, and Dreamer, which are the 3 best songs on this particular album, and they are all magnificent. Dreamer is a cut below Colonized Mind. It's a little bit better than Crimson and Clover, but these 3 songs are always on my mixtapes. I always put them on mixtapes. Dreamer is just a magnificent song. Uh, Peanut Butter Logic, spread on a bed of lies. um, it's the heaviest rock tune on this particular release, and it's a magnificent song, magnificent. And finally is Back to the Lotus, which is basically a reprise from the Lotus. So track 1. So track 12 is a reprise of track 1. It's a great closeout for the Lotus Flower chapter of this release, because we got Lotus Flower, we got MPLS Sound, and we have Elixir. And like I said, I already said I'm not going to even discuss Elixir. So next up, we got MPL Sound, Minneapolis Sound. But with the Minneapolis Sound, this is the more funk based or more fun of the release, and it's great. But it is a bit of a come down from the Lotus Flower, but it stands on its own as a great collection of late Prince, late half of his career Prince funk fun type songs. Next up, we have There'll Be Another Like Me. There'll Never Be Another Like Me. That's the first track from the MPLS Sound, and it's a strong track. Not great. It's not once again, it's not the sprawling track that you're used to from to open up a Prince album. It is 6 minutes long, but it's mediocre, not bad, not good, just there. Followed by Chocolate Box featuring Q-Tip. Now, I do not like this song at all. It doesn't fucking suck, but I do not like it. When Prince and rap really had a strained relationship, I guess. Prince, when he featured mainstream artists, like Chuck D on Undisputed or Q-Tip on Chocolate Box, it's something that just didn't work. For some reason, it just didn't work, and I can't really put my finger on it, but it just didn't work. And I think his work with Tony M, of course, you know how I feel about that. I mean, when it came to rap, I think Prince was just better off just doing it himself. I mean, because his beats were not hip hop beats, and his melodies were more suited for him. I guess that's a good way for me to put it. And so to hear somebody else's voice, especially someone mainstream like a Chuck D or a Q-Tip, someone who has an established repertoire and has an established reputation, it's kind of hard to kind of meld them together. I think when it came to hip hop, Prince would have been better off if he was going to work with other artists to have someone else produce it, which we know would never happen because he was a control freak. But I think he would have been better off if he's going to do hip hop, have a hip hop producer work with him, and do it that way. It may have been a better product. But Chocolate Box is just not a good song. I don't like it. Next up is Dance for Me, which is a more slow jam type of a song. Not great, not bad, mediocre, but I like it anyway. Next is You're Gonna See Me. Now I do like You're Gonna See Me. Once again, it's a ballad, it's more laid back. Prince with his falsetto doing his thing. It's not one of his best, but on this particular release, it really fits well. Next up is Here. Here, I really don't like it that much. I don't listen to it a whole lot. Not too much I can really say about it because I haven't really heard it that many times. All I know is it didn't move me. Next up is Valentina. Hey, Valentina. Your mama should give me a call. Tell your mama she should give me a call. I like his melody in this particular song. I like his arrangement, his vocal arrangement. It's everybody knows Valentina is written for Salma Hayek's daughter, Valentina. So I don't know if he and Salma had something going on. I know she directed one of his videos, a couple of his music videos, and obviously they were friends. So it's the best song on this particular release, on the MPLS Sound version portion of the Lotus Flower release. Not a magnificent song, but it's a very good song. It's a good listen, and this song does go on mixtapes. So I really do like it. The bridge is not very good. That kind of takes me out of the song, but overall the song is strong. Next up is Better With Time. And Better With Time, I think he actually dedicated this song to Kristen Scott Thomas, who co-starred with him in Under the Cherry Moon. I thought they had a bit of a strained relationship, so who knows. But anyways, Better With Time, it's once again, it's not a great song. It's decent. Um, it's not a real fun listen, but it's a good listen, if that makes any sense. So don't skip it. It's a good song. Old School Company, more funk based. This one is probably the most fun song on this particular release. Um, I think it's the longest track too. It's almost 8 minutes long, but it's filler. It's forgettable, but it's a fun listen at the same time. And finally, No More Candy for You. I can live without it. It's mediocre. I don't listen to it that much, but it's not terrible. So there you have it. MPLS Sound and Lotus Flower. It's kind of spotty, the MPLS Sound portion of it, but the Lotus Flower portion of the album is really, really strong. As I said before, Crimson and Clover, Dreamer, Colonized Mind, Valentina are the strongest songs from these two that you're going to want to listen to. But the jazzy cuts are really, really good as well. From the Lotus, Boom, Love Like Jazz, Beverly Park. It's a really good listen. So of Prince's late in his life, the last portion of his life releases, Lotus Flower is in the top percentile. It was probably the most commercial work that he did because of the affiliation through Target. They're really trying to get it out there to the masses. It worked. It sold a lot of copies and everything. It kept him in the consciousness, in the mind's eye, and the music was strong enough to validate it. So I don't have a beef with him doing it that way. I like the fact that he really took control of his career when it came to releasing his music, doing it his way through different outlets, releasing the music independently, how he wanted to do it. And that was a treat for us fans because we got more product from him on a more consistent basis without him being tied down by Warner Brothers or any other contract he may have been under previously. So it is a really, really good time. It's a good release. Spend more time on Lotus Flower, a little less time on MPS Sound. Make a mixtape out of this compilation. Stay the fuck away from Elixir. It ain't worth it. But the first two, Lotus Flower and MPLS Sound, you really can't go wrong. Those songs I mentioned before, those are the strongest ones. But let me know what you think about this release and whether or not it does measure up. And tell me, how do you feel about his late in life releases, the last part of his life, and where you think those albums stack up? Say like from the last 10 years of his life, how did his music stack up to, say, the middle part of his career? And we know none of that measures up to what he did in the first portion of his career. So let me know what you think. Hit me up. Twitter at What Lonzo Thinks. Email whatlonzothinks@gmail.com. Of course, subscribe. Please subscribe. Give me your comments below. Be getting a lot of comments, folks, as I usually do. Some kind of hateful stuff and some kind of stuff, some positive stuff. But I appreciate it all. I appreciate your opinion. If I come back at you a little bit, don't take it personal. It just is good. It's good dialogue between people who are passionate about what I'm talking about and about the music. But keep in mind, it is my opinion. It's unsolicited. It's my opinion. Don't mean I'm right. Don't mean I'm wrong. It's not for debating, I guess. It's good to know what everybody thinks and to get your opinion. And if there's some things you can say to sway me or add information, I may be wrong on some things or misinformed. Please let me know. I consider myself a Princeton aficionado, but that doesn't mean I know everything. A lot of stuff comes off my dome from years and years of research into the guy and just reading stuff and learning more about him. But nobody's perfect. I don't know everything. I'll be the first to say I don't know everything, but I try to get as much factual information as I can to share it with you. But Prince was an enigma, so everybody has a different story when it comes to Prince in different things and the various portions of his life and how things got disseminated through the media and how we kind of learned things about him. He was very private, so you kind of get grains of information from as many trusted sources as you can. But I do appreciate everybody's opinion. Please keep on subscribing. Please keep on giving me your thoughts and concerns. I do appreciate it. I don't take any of it personal. So if I come back at you a little bit, it's more just me being a tongue-in-cheek asshole versus being being argumentative or belligerent. I don't get down like that. but I am a bit of an asshole, arrogant asshole when it comes to my humor. I just say things get on people's skin sometimes. I just do that. I've been doing it all my life. Just I have a sarcastic nature about me. So I think that kind of comes through on my podcast as well. So don't take it personal. But if you do take it personal, I gives a damn. But because I don't know you and you don't know me. But please continue to give me your opinions, and I'll continue to be snarky, and we can have some fun and kind of laugh about it. That's cool. So what do you think? Hit me up. Let me know. Once again, hit me up on Patreon as well. I appreciate your support on Patreon. I do appreciate the notifications that I receive, and I appreciate the comments. So please keep it coming, and let me know what you think, because as you well know, you're always going to know what Lonzo thinks. Bye.